I'm Lindsay Lopez, 28. The wedding reception pulses in our Houston Bayou home guests caught in the joyous flow. My sister's scream shreds the harmony. Get out! I won't have a fat pig ruining my photos. The merriment stalls, focus sharpening on the chaos. My mom herds me to the door, her insistence clear. Just leave, sweetheart. I halt abruptly, whirl around, and drop one sentence. Her fury morphs to stark fear as she plummets to her knees. The audio dyes the area, charging with anticipation. I scan my dad, but he sidesteps my glance, grip iron on his vessel. My 18-year-old brother smirks, lancing me. My 30-year-old sister barrels closer, braced for impact. The assault crashes. I orchestrated the day, bankrolling the site and her array while they unwound. Shortly prior, I floated my code mastery leap, yearning for acclaim. Now she dubs me a fat pig. The pivot sears. My seal binds this tenure, the surge animating this spectacle, the sustenance propelling this occasion. My brother's academia. Yet I'm the banished. Dad's mill demise 6 months hence propelled me to mend. Tenure's surges her marital lavishness. The steeper my contribution, the keener his aloofness, his position eroding. I intercepted his murmur to the neighbor last week. She presumes dominance now. My brother commandeers my piece, discarding it, viciously jeering. Fat pigs sabotage the occasion. I fortify, target her, and ignite the overturn. Look at this if you think I'm worthless. Tremors cascade among the witnesses. What would you do if your sister demeaned you at her wedding like that? Endure? Or execute the twist? Lay out your tactic in the comments. I'd love to explore. My hands tremble as I shove clothes into my suitcase in my room at the Houston Bayou house. The aftermath of the reception uproar still pulses in my veins. The faint whir of the AC I paid for hums in the background. Under my desk, a bunch of papers draws my attention. We switched to e-bills after Dad's layoff hit hard. I pull out a bank statement. Mom's name, Tracy Lopez, sits at the top. My breath snags. $2,000 in October. $4,000 in November. $7,000 now. I sift through more, finding a venue contract. Her handwriting marks down payment $5,000. Pickup post-ceremony. A high-end hall. While I've cut corners to pay their rent. Probing further, I uncover credit charges in my name. Not for essentials, but lavish outings. Manicures, massages, boutique shopping. My stomach churns. I've been scraping by on cheap eats to make ends meet while Tracy splurges on my dime. The door creaks with a light knock. My 18-year-old brother Joshua Lopez slips in, glancing nervously down the hall. "You're really packing up," he whispers, fingers nodding. "Did you know about this?" I hold up the venue contract, my voice cutting. Joshua freezes, then nods, slowly, eyes averted. "Maria and Mom set it up. Nihim. They waited for you to handle January's rent. My sister Maria Lopez always chasing some grand opportunity." I clutch the papers tighter, anger simmering, and you stayed silent. He shifts uncomfortably. "Maria said my tuition disappears if I snitch." I fire up my banking app, flashing the balance, $680. "This is all that's left after propping up this place," I tell him. One more month pushes me over the edge. Joshua's gaze skitters away. "Mom's spa days," he murmurs. "They're not critical. She's been charging your card." The deception burrows deeper, twisting like a thorn. I begin compiling receipts. Rent stubs, utility invoices, grocery tallies, all bearing my signature. Proof I've shouldered this household while they conspired behind my back. The Wi-Fi bill for Maria's endless scrolling. Joshua's tuition for his campus pursuits. The credit line I thought safeguarded Mom's health. I stop at a receipt for the fridge I replaced last summer when the old one quit. My cash, my compromise. Each file stands as a barrier to their falsehoods. Joshua watches, fiddling with his cuff. "What's the plan?" he asks quietly. I ignore him, tucking the statements into my bag. My thoughts spin, calculating every expense I've absorbed. Rent, electricity, food for that gathering where they belittled me. My car keys lie on the dresser. The one asset solely mine. At least that goes with me. I zip the suitcase shut, the noise echoing harshly. Joshua hovers, seeming ready to say more, but holds back. Their schemes, venue Maria's plots, Joshua's quiet, bear down on me. I'm through, as their fallback. As I organize the final receipt, determination crystallizes. I'm departing definitively. I grip the edge of Caitlin Hunt's couch in her Austin City apartment, the family's betrayal still clawing at me. Boxes of my life, clothes, books, a few photos, stack against the wall, hauled from Houston in a frantic drive. I boot up my laptop, accessing the accounts linked to my name. Rent for the Bayou house. Cable for Maria's streaming. Joshua's tuition. Mom's credit. I've been their safety net. No longer. I log into the banking app, canceling automatic payments one by one. The rent, the utilities, the internet. Each click confirms the severance like snapping chains. Caitlin's cat Sadie curls up next to me, purring as I work. She's at her shift, leaving me this quiet space to untangle my obligations. My phone buzzes. Dad's name, Jeremy Lopez, lights the screen. I hesitate, then pick up. Lindsay, what's going on? His voice is sharp, panic threading through. The cable's out. The tuition bill's due. And your mom's credit was declined. I lean back, jaw set. I've stopped paying for things that aren't mine to carry, I say calmly. You can't just leave us hanging like this. Jeremy snaps, shifting to that old guilt play. We're your family. You owe us. I almost scoff. Family didn't call me a fat pig at Maria's wedding. You've made your choice. I reply, disconnecting before he can argue. My hands steady, but a new resolve stirs inside, pushing me forward. I check the app again, updating passwords. Then an alert pops up. 3 failed login attempts from an unfamiliar device. My heart skips. I call the bank, the representative's voice steady but concerned. Miss Lopez, someone tried accessing your account from an IP tied to your family's address in Houston. I freeze, picturing Maria behind her screen, plotting. Can you lock it? I ask. She confirms, adding 2-factor authentication and fraud alerts. No one can touch your funds without in-person verification, she says. I pace the small apartment, the city sounds outside, a stark contrast to the Bayou quiet I left. My savings, $720, are all I have left after carrying their house. Maria's attempt to break in feels like another knife, sharper than Mom's words or Joshua's smirk. I dig out my notebook, jotting down every payment. Every account now secured. The rent I've paid for years. The cable Maria used to binge shows. The tuition Joshua relied on. I'm done. Caitlin's key turns in the lock. She steps in, brushing off her coat. How's Operation Freedom? She asks, dropping her bag. Almost there, I say, showing her the locked accounts. She nods, handing me a coffee. They'll feel this soon, she says, her tone matter of fact. I glance at my phone, expecting another call, but it stays silent for now. The city hum outside feels like possibility, not pressure. I'm not just hiding here. I'm building something new. But Maria's login attempts linger in my mind. A warning they're not done trying to pull me back. As I close my laptop, a new alert pings, making my pulse race. I'm bolstering my barriers. My pulse races as a fist pounds the door of Caitlin's Austin City apartment. The force vibrates through the structure. Lindsay, open this door. Maria's roar shakes the panels. I glance through the viewer, spotting her red-faced Joshua next to her arms, crossed, smirking familiarly. Storms rage outside, illuminating the street. I seize my phone, tone controlled, yet tense. Go away, Maria, I shout back. You believe you can sever us and escape. She bellows, hammering once more. Joshua joins his words, cutting. You owe us, Lindsay. Rectify it now. Their phrases recall the wedding disdain, but I'm done complying. I punch 911 voice hushed as I detail the commotion. They're battering my entrance, intimidating me. I inform the dispatcher, my rhythm escalating. Maria's strike intensifies, and Joshua jeers. You're nothing alone. A portal opens across the passage and the resident, a middle-aged lady, steps forth, face resolute. I've contacted Complex Protection, she announces, staring at Maria. Maria pivots, growling. Mind your affairs, woman. But the resident holds position, tightening her wrap. You're making this communal, she counters. The lift chimes and a guard's directive intervenes. Step from the portal, ma'am. Maria turns, continuing to shout, but Joshua falters, his smirk dissolving. Shortly, crimson and azure lights flicker beyond. Officer Derek, emblem gleaming, advances, his presence commanding. You're instigating a ruckus, ma'am. Retreat immediately. Maria disputes. This is my sibling's location, but Officer Derek halts her. You possess no authority to harass. Joshua fidgets nervously as Officer Derek secures Maria, her outcries diminishing along the hallway. I furnish my narrative tone, even specifying their intimidations. The resident affirms, supplying her depiction as the enforcement automobile withdraws. I recline on Caitlin's seating, Sadie humming close. My portable is absent. Likewise, my imager, articles abandoned at the Houston residence. I contact Officer Derek anew, notifying the appropriation. They seized my portable and imager. I elucidate, retrieving confirmations from my carrier. I hold verification, they're mine. He records it, his manner solemn. Appropriating another's assets constitutes a violation, Miss Lopez. We'll investigate. Caitlin arrives, clearing moisture from her garment. They appeared here, she probes. Gaze expanded. I affirm, presenting the confirmations. They're persisting. I articulate, my timbre quivering with outrage, not apprehension. The metropolitan throb beyond signifies liberation from confinement. Yet those missing elements irritate me. A final prod from a kin I'm discarding. I require their retrieval. I'm reclaiming my ground. My chest tightens as I step off the bus in the Houston Bayou. Officer Derek walks beside me, his badge catching the afternoon sun. My folder of receipts, proof for my laptop and camera, feels heavy in my hands. We approach the family house, the same one I paid rent for now, quiet under a light drizzle. Mr. Soto, the neighbor, watches from his porch, pausing his sweeping. I nod, but my focus is on the front door. It opens and Mom stands there, her smile faltering when she sees Officer Derek. Miss Lopez is here to retrieve her property. Officer Derek says, his voice firm. Tracy's eyes narrow. That laptop and camera belong to the family. Lindsay, she says, crossing her arms. You can't just take them. I pull out the receipts, holding them up. These say otherwise. I reply, my voice steady. Purchased with my card in my name. Officer Derek scans the documents, his eyebrows rising. These confirm ownership, ma'am, he tells Tracy. Step aside. Tracy hesitates, her jaw tight. You're tearing this family apart, she says, her tone sharp but shaky. I meet her gaze, unflinching. You did that when you backed Maria's insults, I say. Mr. Soto edges closer, pretending to sweep, but clearly listening. I hand Officer Derek another folder. Rent payments, utility bills, credit charges, all in my name. I supported this house for 6 months, I tell him, loud enough for the neighbor to hear, while she misused my funds. Tracy's mouth opens, then closes. Officer Derek flips through the papers, his expression hardening. These show you've been supporting this household alone, he says, glancing at Tracy. She steps back, silent, as I enter my old room. The laptop and camera sit on the desk untouched. I grab them, checking the serial numbers against my receipts. They match. I pack them carefully, my hands calm despite the simmering anger. Outside, Mr. Soto watches openly now, his broom still. Tracy follows us to the porch, her voice low. Lindsay, we can work this out, she pleads. But it's hollow. I turn, receipts still in hand. You chose a venue over me, I say, my words cutting. She flinches, but I don't stop. I board the bus back to Austin. Officer Derek nods. You did the right thing, he says. Back at Caitlin's apartment, I set the laptop on the table. Sadie sniffs curiously. The victory feels bittersweet. My things are back. But the cost was steep. Tracy's face. Mr. Soto's stare linger in my mind. They know the truth now, but what comes next, I'm strengthening my stance. My shoulders tense as I configure my new desk in Caitlin's Austin City apartment. Sunlight filters through the window, casting shadows on my laptop, finally mine again. Sadie lounges nearby, her purr a small solace. I've begun rebuilding, establishing a new bank account untouched by family. My developer job's consistent salary covers a modest rent share here, and I'm saving again, bit by bit. The Bayou house, once my load, seems a faded echo, but my phone vibrates with a text from Joshua. The landlord's evicting us. Satisfied, I stare at the screen, sensing only resolve. From a relative's call, I learn the Bayou home is in foreclosure. The accumulated unpaid rent and utilities I formerly managed escalated after I ceased. The landlord initiated legal action, and Texas courts proceeded swiftly. A sheriff's notice affixed to their door granted 60 days to depart. Tracy and Jeremy scrambled to Uncle Mark's spot in Fort Worth, but his text to me was direct. They've got a month before I eject them. I don't respond. Their decisions, not mine, precipitated this. Maria and Joshua confront their own repercussions. A court document arrived last month. Maria's arrest for the apartment incident incurred a fine, and Joshua's involvement earned him community service. The theft complaint I lodged for my laptop and camera adhered. They're remitting compensation. Their names linked to a police record. I experience no glee, just a subdued relief that justice prevailed. My notebook, brimming with receipts and terminated payments, resides in a drawer, a memento of the verity I established. Back in Austin, I'm coloring my section of Caitlin's place, a calm green I selected without consultation. No one contests my decisions here. I've commenced seeking employment with superior compensation, surveying compact units I could claim as my own. The city's hum outside feels like potential, not constraint. Caitlin stops by with coffee, her uniform rumpled. Heard about the eviction? She inquires, flinging her keys. I nod, sipping the coffee. They're confronting what they constructed. I state my voice steadfast. My phone illuminates again. A letter redirected from Aunt Kristen Tracy's sibling. I identify the handwriting on the envelope, the identical curl from the venue contract I uncovered months prior. I don't open it. 3 more letters came last week. All from Tracy. All unsealed. They're in a box under my bed. Their terms immaterial. Aunt Kristen's missive probably echoes their tale. I'm the egotistical one forsaking kin. But the Bayou neighbors like Mr. Soto witness the truth. My receipts, my stand. Their murmurs circulated, dismantling the narrative Tracy and Jeremy attempted to peddle. I stroll to the window, observing drizzle coat the Austin streets. Joshua's text, the eviction, the unopened letters, fragments of the existence I've abandoned. I'm not their crutch anymore. Caitlin joins me, Sadie following. You're liberated now, she remarks, her tone buoyant yet certain. I nod, a faint smile emerging, but as I discard Aunt Kristen's letter in the waste, another vibration from my phone seizes my notice. I'm cementing my independence. I slide a roasted turkey onto the small table in my Austin apartment share. The aroma of herbs fills the air. Christmas lights twinkle outside, reflecting off the rain-dusted windows. Caitlin laughs, laying out mismatched plates while Sadie weaves between our legs. This is my first Christmas away from the Bayou house, from the family who shamed me. My new space with Caitlin feels warm, genuine. No one here gauges my value by what I fund. I've crafted something authentic in Austin. My developer job covers rent, and my savings, now over $2,000, are growing. I painted the walls a soft beige I chose freely. Hung photos of my own picking. No approval needed. The city's pulse outside feels like a rhythm I'm syncing with. Caitlin lifts her glass, grinning. To chosen family and true liberty, she toasts. I clink mine against hers, a smile spreading. Sadie jumps onto the couch, demanding attention, and I chuckle. The sound light unfamiliar. Word of my old family's fate reached me through a kin call. Tracy and Jeremy lost the Bayou house to foreclosure months ago. After I halted payments, the unpaid rent and utilities triggered a sheriff's sale. Texas courts finalized it quickly, 90 days, and they were out. They stayed with Uncle Mark in San Antonio, but he allowed them a month before requesting departure. Now they're renting a cramped unit, scraping by on Jeremy's sporadic gigs. Maria, now 31, and Joshua, 19, endured their own fallout. Maria's fine for disturbing the peace at Caitlin's apartment hit hard, and Joshua's community service for his part bound him to a record. They're on their own, no longer my responsibility. My phone remains quiet, but a stack of unopened letters from Tracy gathers dust in a drawer. Aunt Kristen sent 2 more. Her handwriting sharp like the venue contract I found a year ago. I tossed them without a glance. The Bayou neighbors, Mr. Soto and others, spread the truth after I showed my receipts. Their murmurs dismantled the lies Tracy and Jeremy told about me deserting them. I don't need their validation anymore. As Caitlin carves the turkey, I reflect on the life I've sculpted. No more bearing a house that scorned me. No more depleting my savings for their plots. I'm eyeing a studio apartment, modest but mine, where no one can challenge my place. The freedom to select Hugh's meals, my destiny feels like a gift I never anticipated. I look at Caitlin, at Sadie, at this table we prepared together. This is family, not the one by blood. The weight of being their resource is lifted, replaced by a quiet strength. I've learned to value myself, not what I provide. Setting boundaries wasn't just leaving. It was safeguarding my peace. Tracy, Jeremy, Maria, Joshua, they chose their path, and I chose mine. Their consequences, losing home stability, stem from their actions, not mine. If you're trapped in a family viewing you as a tool, remember this. You're worth more than what you offer. Step away. Forge your own life, and don't glance back. What would you do to guard your peace I opted to release?